Hi everyone, my name's Jeff Thompson. Welcome to my YouTube channel once again, and this short video will possibly be on my photography training blog as well, and on my general blog at Jeff Thompson's blogspot. I'll start again. jeffthompsonsblog.blogspot.com. So if you go to that one, you will find links to the YouTube channel and also my photography training channel. I thought I'd put this together today with a little bit of help from my good friend Greg on how to take simple light readings, and I'm using some old film cameras here, medium format cameras, which are my pride and joy, and these are both Pentax cameras, and I'm going to just show you how to use a light meter, an incident light meter that actually reads the light, how to check that maybe against your digital camera if you have a digital camera. Basically, if you're using film with a film camera, once you're experienced enough, you can take photos without light meters. You can judge the light, but that comes with experience, because one of the reasons for that is there's a lot more latitude in film for error, in other words. I forget what the term is now for digital cameras. The range, the exposure range that you can use. So you can be way overexposed or a bit underexposed using film and you'll still get a good shot. Dynamic range is the words I'm trying to find for the digital camera. That's what they call dynamic range. But with film, it's a lot more forgiving than digital cameras are, unless you have a very expensive digital camera. So we're going to have a look at, I'm using, going to be taking some photos of my friend Greg. He's going to be standing where I'm standing. I'm going to take some light meter readings using my light meter, which is this one here. It's a Minolta light meter. I picked this up second hand the other day, and it's a very useful little meter. It's the light meter auto meter 4F. If you can pick up one of these second hand, they're very useful. And I'm going to show you how to use that in a minute when I take some photos of Greg using this Pentax 6x7 film camera and the Pentax 6x4.5 film camera. And these are what they call medium format cameras, and there are lots of others around, and you can get digital medium format cameras now, but you can pick these up at quite good prices now second hand, and you get some fantastic photos with them. You can blow up to quite a good size because of, in terms of if you're thinking of pixels, well, you have these big 50 megapixel digital medium format cameras. Well, these almost give you the same effect using film. So, and it's a lot cheaper in many ways, and using film you don't take as many shots because you're not just shooting away willy-nilly because you can. So, I'm now going to ask my friend Greg to come over in a minute, but before I do that, I'm going to set up this camera on a tripod, and this one too to start with, and take some shots on the big cameras, but I'll show you how to use the light meter in a minute. So if you could just click the off button there, Greg, thanks, that'd be good.
So you just walked in front of it, does that matter?
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
No, it's all edited.
Okay.
Here they start up again. If you are interested, Greg and I have a very good interview on my YouTube channel talking about his dad, who was a famous cricketer in the victory tests after the Second World War. So just look for that entry on my YouTube channel. It's called When Your Dad Is Your Hero, and you'll find that quite interesting. So the birds have stopped for a second. The cat, I think, might have gone somewhere else.
I just saw him over there. Yeah.
Now he's calling out to somebody. Okay, this, as you can see, this is a highly professional production. Now,
Yes.
so this is a handheld light meter, and as I was saying before, you can learn if you're shooting with film over the years of experience. You can take shots with film without even using a light meter, but to double check to make sure you're getting the right light, even when you're using a digital camera, one of these is one of the most brilliant things you can have in your kit, because you are getting readings through your camera, as I do on this film camera here, on the smaller one, the Pentax 645. The other big one that I've got hasn't got a meter, although you can get meters that go with them. But what you do with this one is here, you just measure the light that is actually falling on the subject. So Greg here is my subject, and if I hold this here, and I've got to turn the power on first, and I've got to set the ISO speed of the film, which is 400 in that camera, and I set it on 400, and then all I do, and I've got a shutter speed of 125, I'm after a shutter speed of 125 and an aperture of 5.6 is what I'm looking for to take this shot here. So I notice there's a bit of cloud come over now, so it's not quite as bright. So we'll just take this reading. I press the button on the side here of this meter, holding it up in front of Greg, and that's giving me a reading of 125 at f4 on 400 ISO or ASO. If I change that speed on here, 90 gives me in between f4 and f5.6. 60 gives me my 5.6, but now you can see the sun's coming out brighter again. So if I do another reading, 60 now comes out between f8 and f11 because of the light changing. So it's going to go up and down a little bit depending when you have this sort of moving type of light. So at the moment, if I want to, using this current reading, 125 gives me pretty much f5.6 in this current light. I'll do another reading. Yes, in between f5.6 and f8, which is not too bad because the film, it's okay if you slightly overexpose the film anyway. So having done all that, I've taken the reading. I'm now going to grab my camera and set that to 125. Put the camera on manual. It's on manual. Set it at 125. On here I'm going to set that between f5.6 and 5.8. So that's slightly overexposing. So I'm now going to just go back to the camera position now and take some, well, I'll come in a bit closer than where I'm filming this from, and take some portraits of Greg in this light at that setting. And then I'll use this, do the same measurements with the other big camera in a minute. And I also, just to check against it, I'm going to take some shots with my 50mm lens that goes on the Canon 600D that I'm filming with at the moment, and see what sort, if I use the same measurements on that manually, see if they come out and from the same light readings that I've been using there. I hope all that makes sense. So I'm just going to get in position now to take some shots, so we'll be off the air for a little minute. In the picture?
Yes.
Okay, just put this way then.
Yes. And smile.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
That's
smiling.
good.
I think you might have blinked then.
Oh yeah, okay.
Now that was 60 at f5.6 because the lights come out a bit stronger. So we might change it to 125.
Yes.
No, that's okay.
Cheese.
Not yet.
No.
That's 60 at f5.6. So we'll just try that. That says okay.
Do
Hold
that.
that. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to be using the Pentax 6x7, which is a very heavy camera. I call it my elephant gun camera, and basically you should probably shoot this on a tripod a fair bit of the time, but you can hand hold them. But because I want to try and keep this steady, I'm going to take this shot handheld. I want to take the shot at 125th of a second. So it means I've got to get a light reading using this light meter to give me 125th of a second, and I'll shoot at whatever aperture it is, because I should still get a nice portrait even if it's down to f4. So we just take a, because this, remember this light is changing here, just take this reading here again, and that's showing 125 between f5.6 and f8. So we'll set the camera on that. Actually, we'll set it on 5.6 anyway, and we'll see what happens. So, Craig, if you can just step that way, come back a bit. Where's the picture, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's looking this way, Greg.
Okay. Smile.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Hear that big shutter go bang.
Yeah.
Quite heavy. Okay. You only get 10 rolls per film on these, so this gives you a lot bigger negative. Just take it again. Okay, you're holding that, that's good.
Yeah.
You're still smiling.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so that's just a little bit of an introduction, folks, how to use a handheld light meter using these older cameras. With 35mm film cameras, you can do the same thing. Of course, your cameras have got meters built into them. I did take some shots earlier using my Canon 50mm lens, taking the same readings of this same shot. So hopefully when we get these films developed, could be a little while, we'll show you what they look like on the YouTube clip. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, subscribe whatever you do on these things, and we'll see you next time. And I should say, thanks Greg.
My pleasure, Jeff.